Robert Redford was never a man you could call ordinary. His life was painted in bold strokes, an actor who captured hearts on screen, a filmmaker who won Hollywood's highest honors, and a visionary who built legacies that stretched far beyond the silver screen. When he passed away on September 16th at the age of 89, the world mourned not only the loss of a legendary artist, but also a man whose story was deeply human at its core. Yet behind the fame, the awards, and the iconic roles, there was a love story that shaped the latter years of his life, a story shared with his wife, Sibylle Szaggars. She was not dazzled by his celebrity, but rather drawn to the man behind the fame. Her ability to see his soul rather than his stardom gave Redford something he had long searched for, a love that was pure, equal, and deeply authentic. Their paths crossed in the late 1990s in the quiet, snow-covered beauty of Sundance Mountain Resort in Utah. This wasn't just any place. It was Redford's beloved sanctuary, where he had founded the Sundance Institute to nurture independent filmmakers. Sibylle, a German-born artist with her own creative spirit, was there with friends on a ski trip. Fate had its hand that day, leading her to meet the man whose films had enchanted audiences for decades. Sibylle had known of him, of course. She had seen Jeremiah Johnson and Barefoot in the Park, films that had etched themselves into cinematic history. But she admitted something surprising. She wasn't a movie buff. Her passions leaned toward music, opera, painting, and the works of masters like Salvador Dali and Picasso. Redford, though an icon, wasn't the center of her world. When he invited her and her friends to dinner, she worried she might feel out of place. What if he asked about his movies? What could she say? In a moment of nervous humor, she rented 6 or 8 of his films from the resort, skimming 15 minutes of each, just in case. She imagined mixing them all up, embarrassing herself. But when they sat down together, she realized quickly that Robert Redford wasn't interested in reliving his own filmography. He wanted something else, something real. For Redford, her lack of obsession with his career was refreshing, even freeing. That's one of the things that attracted me to her. She didn't know much about me, he later shared. We started on an even playing field. I didn't have to worry about any agenda. It was just 2 human beings meeting each other. And that was how their love blossomed, not from the glitz of Hollywood, but from simple, human connection. As the early 2000s unfolded, Sibylle became part of Redford's world, joining him at premieres, film festivals, and even Fashion Week in New York. She was there for his proudest moments, when he received an honorary Oscar in 2002 and when he was honored at the Kennedy Center in 2005. But through it all, their bond remained private, nurtured quietly away from the spotlight. Even his proposal in 2008 was kept mostly under wraps. When asked about it, Redford said with characteristic simplicity, "We are engaged and very happy with that. She is my fiancée, and that says everything, doesn't it?" That same sense of understated grace carried into their wedding the following year in Hamburg, Germany. There, Sibylle stepped into his family circle, becoming a loving stepmother to his children Shauna and Amy, and to James, who tragically passed away in 2020. She also honored the memory of Scott, the son Redford had lost in infancy with his first wife, Lola Van Wagenen. Redford's admiration for Sibylle was heartfelt and constant. Speaking about her in 2011, he described her as a very special person. He appreciated the freshness she brought into his life, not just because she was younger or European, but because she offered him a new chapter filled with perspectives and experiences different from his own. She was his partner not just in love, but also in shared passions, particularly their devotion to the arts and to protecting the natural world. Their life together was not one of constant red carpets and public appearances. Instead, they chose a quieter path, one rooted in their love for creativity, nature, and each other. From time to time, they would step into the spotlight hand in hand, such as at the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation's award ceremony in 2021. But more often, their love unfolded in private moments, sheltered from the cameras. When Redford took his final breath, it was in the place that defined him as much as any role he ever played, his home at Sundance in Utah. Nestled in the mountains he adored, surrounded by the people he cherished most, he left this world embraced by love. His publicist's statement captured it simply. He passed at his home at Sundance in the mountains of Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by those he loved. Robert Redford's story is often told in terms of films, awards, and achievements. But to truly understand the man, one must also look at the love he shared with Sibylle. Theirs was a union that grew not out of glamour, but out of honesty and shared humanity. It was a reminder that even legends seek what we all seek, someone who sees us not for what we do, but for who we are. As the world remembers Robert Redford for his towering contributions to cinema and culture, Sibylle's love story with him offers a tender glimpse into his heart. It is a story that whispers of companionship, respect, and the beauty of finding love when one least expects it. And perhaps that, more than anything, is the true legacy of Robert Redford, the reminder that life's greatest roles are not always played on a screen, but in the quiet moments of love, devotion, and connection. Rest in peace, Robert Redford.